Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Very nice that you're tuning in. And hello to all the new subscribers. We're at Acheampong and we make clips about our move to Ghana. Here I'm with a special guest. I have my cousin here, Will. He is my father's, is he young? No, he's not the younger. Like third brother's son.
Third brother's son.
Yeah, okay. So he's gonna explain to me and to all of you Ghana's school system, because that's quite a bit different from European or American school system, is it?
Yes, there are quite some differences.
Okay.
The Ghana school system is in three phases.
Okay.
We have the basic school, we have the secondary school,
Okay.
and we have the tertiary. So the basic school comprises of we have the kindergarten,
Okay.
we have the junior high school,
Okay.
and then we have the primary school.
So kindergarten is like, when do you start kindergarten?
Kindergarten starts at age 2.
Okay, wow.
Age 2, yeah.
And then you go to school for 5 days a
Yes.
week.
Yeah, you go to school for 5 days.
Have you done the same thing?
I could remember my mom took me to a school, Maui. Yeah. I was
Okay.
young, but
Wow, that's so young.
I remember.
Okay.
But usually class 1 starts when you are 6 years.
Okay, okay.
So that's the average age
Yeah.
for class 1.
Okay.
So the kindergarten is the basic. You know,
Yeah.
there are some differences because we have the private school running a different system and we have the government school
Yeah.
running the system. The
Yeah.
private school will require that the child goes to crèche
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then they go to the nursery
Yeah.
and they go to kindergarten 1,
Okay.
kindergarten 2. But
Okay,
for
so
the-
that's like the same thing
Yes.
in Europe.
Okay.
Okay.
But for the government setup, you could start from the kindergarten and then you move on
Okay.
from there.
Okay.
So the primary school itself lasts for 6 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
primary school, you'll be in school for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then you move on to the junior high school, which is 3 years.
So okay, if I get it right, you have a private school system and a Ghanaian school system,
Yes.
which all go together. So they're all different schools within Ghana.
Yes.
So you choose where your child wants to go, either
Mhm.
private or government school.
Yes.
So the government schools start at age 2,
Yes.
and then what do they do then? What do you start learning? Because I've noticed that Ghanaian kids, like Micah's age, can already read and write.
Yes. For the crèche, it looks like a home where parents could bring their children
Okay.
to at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
sleep.
That's the
Well,
private school
yes,
system,
the
right?
private
Yeah,
school
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
But for the government school system, where it starts with the kindergarten,
Mm-hmm.
pupils are taught on drawing,
Okay.
writing,
Okay.
some form of numeracy,
Okay.
and then you are trained there a bit. But the education is not that intensive because we understand these are kids.
Yeah,
and
so it's
therefore-
still play.
So there is
Okay.
some
Mhm.
formative education from there
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. So when you
Okay.
start from class 1
Mm-hmm.
going, that is where something intensive comes. You are taught,
And that is from which age?
that's 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are taught English, maths.
Yeah.
You are taught religious and moral education,
Okay.
culture, life skills.
Yeah.
And you do some form of physical education. So
Okay. Age are you finishing primary school?
you would have finished primary school around age 12.
Okay. Okay. So that is like in Europe. That is WASCE. I don't know how to explain. So in Europe we have the same thing. There's first daycare, and when you're 4 years old, you go to the normal school, and then you have year 1 and year 2, where it's all about play and learning how to play with kids and learning through play. And then from 6 years old, you start doing like real educative stuff,
Exactly.
and then up to 12. So
Yes.
that's like the same thing.
Yeah, very very similar.
Yes.
Because you start from class 1
Yeah.
to class 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
After class 6, you move on, you transfer into the JHS, the junior high school.
Yes.
So from class 6, you do not write any of the entrance exam you write to JHS will be
Okay.
your final exams in class 6.
Okay, I
And
understand.
then you move on to the junior high school.
Okay.
At the junior high school, it's a very bit competitive and intense. I must
Okay.
admit that both the government and the private school all run the same curriculum.
Okay.
They all do run the same curriculum. But
Okay.
what the differences that is there is that the teacher to student ratio
Mhm.
in the government schools,
Mhm.
so the students are more populated and
Yes.
the quality of teaching is not there.
Okay.
But in the private school where parents are paying much,
Mhm.
there is some form of strictness as to what you do the kind of teaching we give you.
Yes, I understand.
Parents demand that.
Yes, because they pay for it a lot. Okay.
But when you get to the junior high school where you spend 3 years,
okay,
you would have to graduate with an exams, which we call the basic education certificate examination.
Okay.
We cut it short and say it's BECE.
Okay.
Acronym it as BECE.
Okay.
And it's the final preparatory exams that you would have to write in anticipation that when you pass, then you move on to the secondary school, which is the second phase of the educational system in Ghana. So we have...
Wait. Okay, so if I get it right, you start school from age 2, either nursery or normal school.
Yeah.
Then you move on to primary from age 6.
Yes.
And then you finish primary at age 12. From primary, you move to GHS.
For
3 years.
For 3 years.
So 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
When you're 15, you're starting what?
When you're 15, meaning you might have completed the junior high school, and might have sat for the basic education certificate examination.
Okay.
And then when you pass, that is when you are chosen. You choose your schools. That's the secondary school. You move on to the
that's secondary.
Yeah.
Okay, so after GHS comes secondary.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is the second phase, because as I said, we have the first phase, which is the primary school.
Yeah.
The second phase, which is the secondary school.
Okay.
So after GHS, where you spent your 3 years there, you sit for the exams, and then you move on to the secondary school. Secondary education is not just the secondary school. We have vocational institutions too. The vocational institutions also follow the same 3-year.
What is a vocational institution?
And then you learn hands-on training.
Okay,
so let me say
it.
if you want to enter into carpentry, you take the preparative stages there. So that's what is about the secondary education, and that is 3 years.
Okay.
To graduate from the secondary, you would have to sit for an examination.
Okay.
That is the West African Senior High School Certificate Examination.
Okay.
We call it WASCE.
Okay.
When you sit for that examination, there are grades that you need to get if you want to progress from there.
Okay.
And so after the secondary school, then we move on to the third phase, which is the tertiary education.
Tertiary.
Yes, tertiary, university, technical university, or polytechnic.
Okay.
So that is the 3 phases.
Okay. And then so that is the Ghanaian school system, where most Ghanaian children follow. Did you follow that school system as well?
Yes, I followed that school system.
So when were you finished?
I started with the crèche as I said. I my mom told me. I was young then. But what I remember is that I class 1. I started from class 1 in a private school.
Okay.
Where I went to school, but I think along the way, the fees were very expensive. So I then moved to the government school. Okay. And so I did the government school. I went through the government school right straight to the junior high school. Okay. Still with government, and I did the 3 years with government. I sat for the BEC. Okay. I passed, and then I applied through the selection process to a secondary school. Okay. And then after the secondary school, I sat for the WASCE exams, and then got admitted to a university. Okay. And so I went to the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Okay. I did 4 years there for a degree program. Okay. And so when you are done with the degree program, so that's where I am now. I'm done with the degree program. Okay. Mandatorily, in Ghana, when you are done with the degree program, you have to undertake a 1-year national service.
Yes, that is something that I've heard. And you work for free.
No, government pays you an amount of 500 and I think 599 or something.
Okay, Ghana Cedis.
Okay. A month. Okay. As something
pocket money. Okay.
But I believe that.
But I heard that from some people that's really intense work, and they give you a lot of work to do.
Yeah. It's very intense when you get a place where it's very busy. Some too they are just posted to places where there's no much work to do, but you are assured of your.
Okay, so it's like an internship.
Yes, it's a paid internship. Kind of.
Okay, but they make you work hard.
Yes.
Because like if you're an intern abroad, it's like you work, but then they know you're an intern, so they won't give you too much work or not too difficult things. And then, but here it's just like you're working.
Yeah,
so
you work.
Wow.
It doesn't matter whether you are an intern, they pile the work.
Yeah. And what did you do for your national service?
I did my national service at the Directorate of Public Affairs, Accra Technical University.
Okay. And what did you have to do? What
public relation activities. I wrote stories. Did journalism. Photography.
Oh, nice.
PR concepts, PR campaigns, and events. Because
so you learned a lot.
Yeah, I did communication studies in school, and so straight my national service was in a communication department.
Okay.
So I did. It was very intense. It wasn't relaxed because the office I went to needed a lot and needed those services. And there was a lot to do, and so.
So did they offer you a job after you did that?
When I finished my national service, I was retained on contract.
Okay.
So for 6 months, they gave me a 6 months contract, which I could renew after the end of the 6 months. So I'm in my 2 years now.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
2 years now.
Yeah. So normally it's like you finish your national service, you can work for a company who's like a commercial company.
Yes, you can.
And then they can offer you a job if they want, and they'll pay you a salary. Okay, I get it. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's just hard.
Yes, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. You need to go through all these processes.
Yeah.
In some institutions, without your national service, they can't offer you a job, especially for the government.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yes,
Wow. Okay. So I really need to do that. Okay. Okay, so then let's move on to private school system. They have the IB course, they have British curriculum, and they have American curriculum, and then there are French school, Swiss school, German school. I don't know which curriculum they follow. Let's say you want to put your child in an American, you can put your child in an American school system for the first few years, and then follow a British school system, and then follow IB program. It's like all different in Ghana. You as a parent choose, or is the government also telling you that?
No, you as a parent choose, because you determine the quality of education your child needs.
Okay.
So you the parent who choose, but the curriculum are laid down. And so you, the parents, do not alter the curriculum.
Yes, I know.
So all you do is that this is what I want you to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they do not. For the international schools, they run the program based on their international certification.
Yes, I understand.
And so if it is an international certification and you want to come to a Ghanaian school, you would have to convert that international certification to Ghanaian standards.
Ghanaian standards, yes,
and
I
then
understand.
they offer you admission. So as a parent, you can choose which.
You choose what suits best for your child.
Exactly.
Okay. So can we talk about the fees a bit? Yeah. Because the Ghanaian school system is like, it's not too expensive, right?
Very true.
But then the international schools can vary from not too expensive to very high.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that? How do they determine that is it a school that can just determine, okay, this is the kind of fees I'm asking, or does the government also?
No, for the fees is not regulated.
Okay.
I understand. But what is regulated is what the government has control over.
Okay.
So for instance, when you want to start class 1 in a government school, you won't spend more than, let me say, 14 Cedis, because government has made education some
14,
that's almost
1-4
almost about $3.
So you only pay for your uniform, or what?
Yes, you pay for uniform. Those you have to find it yourself. But I mean,
so it's free.
Yes.
Basically, they made school free for everybody here in Ghana.
Yeah, but you free doesn't mean you won't pay anything, but some form of
small
payment.
Fee,
but it won't be that much to overburden the parents. And also, government also provides lunch.
Okay. Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
So they do provide lunch in the school.
Do provide lunch.
Okay.
As for the quality, it will depend on which home you are.
Yes.
If you come from a home where you have somehow good food to eat, you see that as not quality. But when you come from somewhere where
who doesn't really have a lot,
the quality is subjective. And so, so within the primary school setting, what you pay, you have to pay maybe perhaps 14 Cedis a month
Okay.
After every term.
Okay.
And the term is like 3 months.
3 months. Okay. So that's doable for mostly all parents,
yes,
right?
all parents.
Okay. Okay.
So that is it for the primary school. The JHS too is quite the same, not so much.
Okay.
And averagely, if you pay for the JHS, let me say 50 cedis. Average.
Yeah, for each term.
Yeah, for each term. That's 50 cedis.
Okay.
But sometimes some schools have materials which they encourage students or parents to buy, and so it inflates the prices of the fees.
Yeah.
I think government is trying to regulate all these things so it becomes standard. If the school is paying 50, every school is paying 50. They all get the same
things.
material.
Okay. So after GHS, when is it starting to cost people?
Usually it was the secondary school.
Okay.
After the GHS, it's the secondary school. But there are provisions in the constitution where it makes it that citizens in the country get access to free compulsory basic education. Free compulsory basic education.
Okay.
So government has extended the free SHS, the free schooling to the SHS level. Okay. And so now currently in Ghana the SHS is free.
So that is secondary school.
Secondary school.
Okay.
It's free.
Okay.
But being free doesn't mean that students do not pay some form.
Yeah, you pay some form. It's doable for most parents. Okay.
It's doable.
Okay.
When you flip that to the private schools with the primary setting.
Oh wait, hold on. What about university?
University is not free.
Okay. So like when you grow up here in Ghana and your mom is somebody who works on the market or sells water or is not too much of an income, your parents don't have too much income, you can follow the school system up to secondary school. So university is not for everybody because not everybody can afford it. But basically the government is trying to let everybody finish secondary school. Okay, I understand.
As per the constitution, because it's entrenched. So it has to, every Ghanaian has
access to that. Yes, okay, I understand. Okay.
And this is the tertiary education, which is not free, very expensive.
Yes.
It depends on the program
you want and the school and all that. Okay, I get it.
So that is right. But when you compare that to the private schools, even as low as crèche, it is very expensive.
Yes, that's what I've noticed.
It's very expensive. Some schools pay as high as 2,000 for crèche.
Yes.
Just crèche.
Yeah.
And when you move on to class 1, it increases from there.
Yeah.
So from class 1 to primary, unless maybe the school doesn't sit down and decide that we are increasing fees, I think they standardize.
Yeah.
So from there, maybe there are some groups that.
It depends. So, okay, let me explain a bit here. That Sophie and Micah came to an international school, but the school is following the British curriculum. They say they're international, but I think because you see a lot of schools here in Ghana saying that they're international schools.
Yeah.
I think the international means that, and I'm not sure, they teach one or another foreign language. But that doesn't make it really international in my eyes.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed, and let me tell you again, I'm no pro, so I'm not sure, but what I've noticed is that when a school says they are international, it means they teach one or another foreign language. So they teach English and maybe French or Spanish, Arabic, and that makes it international. The problem with the school system where we put Sophie and Micah, the school is not too expensive for us, but I think for Ghanaian parents it's a lot of money. So we paid about $500 for each child for each term. Did I say it right? Yeah. I'm just checking the Kevin to see if I say it right. So we paid about $500 for each child for each term. We chose that school because it's a small school, because they both could go together, and there's an international crowd at the school. There's a lot of mixed children there, like Lebanese, Chinese, international people, but there's also a lot of Ghanaian children there, and that's what we really wanted, because we brought them to Ghana to interact with Ghanaian kids. But the way that they teach, I think all teachers were Ghanaian, and for Micah it was just okay. He had an okay time, and he could adjust to the system because he didn't go to school in the Netherlands. But for Sophie, it was a big difference. Like academically, the school is only focused on developing academically and not too much focused on developing emotionally and personally and how you feel and making friends and all that. So that was difficult for her. And especially when certain incidents happened where the teacher beat a child with a cane, and then like when you don't know the answer, you have to stand on the table and the whole class will tell you shame. So those are things that make it really difficult for her to feel happy in that school. So how was your experience? How did you, because you went to a Ghanaian school, right? So did the teachers tell you shame, or did they cane you when you don't know an answer?
The shame started from the house.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you get the training from the house that when you don't do well, we have to talk to you, we have to tell you you didn't do well. So coming to school wasn't so different, but what was different about that was that it was just embarrassing because you had your friends there who would say, oh, you didn't do well. Yeah. I think
everybody's focused on performing.
Yes.
Okay.
When I was in school, what was usually done was that at every time when we sit for the exams, our grades are posted on the notice board. Okay. Where you have to go and see, your friends will have to go and see. There is no confidentiality. So your friends will know that you are 10th, you are 13th, you are 12th.
Oh, I had that too,
yeah. But I think with time, that got changed because they realized that students were being stigmatized based on performance in school.
So because some kids just learn better than other kids. It's normal. Yeah.
In our home setting where parents do not really focus on, let me say, a child wants to do music. The parents, what is music? What is it going to bring to you? No, you still need to go to school, to school. And so there is that central development is not there where you say, okay, I like music, I want to do music, so let me focus on music training. No, here you do everything, and then when you happen to be self-sufficient on your own, then you can decide that, well, this is music you want to do. So I went through that system where if I don't perform well in class, I'm made to stand up, I'm shamed, and then with time it looked normal because with time you buckle up, you begin to learn hard, but it depends on who it is being done with. Some people are very emotional, some people do not take this very well. So
how did you take it? Because I would feel so bad if that would happen to me.
I was an average student.
Okay.
It was okay for me, so the embarrassment wasn't there. But sometimes when I look at my friends who were not so good, it was embarrassing. But with time, they tend to take it normal. You know, when you are caning a child every day, with time it gets used to it and the cane doesn't do any difference again. And so with time they didn't worry. But sometimes they buckle up, they come up a bit, and then some form of congratulation is done. But usually in this school setting, the brilliant ones are praised always. Average,
not too much.
You are in the middle there, but if you are not so good, that is where the embarrassment comes.
But then, so if you're not good academically, you can have, like, it can really affect you, like, emotionally if you're not good. And I think those kids also, they need extra help, even to help them feel better within themselves. So that is what I'm not really, that is why I feel this is not a place for my kids to be in this type of school system.
What I understand is that in the international schools, not here, let me say in Britain, Netherlands, and America, what I know is that they have some form of guidance and counseling
a lot
children or students who are not doing so well in school. Here nobody has time for you.
So you just have to.
Usually what is being attributed to failure is that you are not learning hard. There are no considerations of whether you are with a single parent, your parents are not well to do, you are not having the best form of care. No, that is not considered. The focus is you are not learning hard, you are not learning your books, and therefore that's why you are not making the grades. So in this primary and junior high schools, they do not have this form of counseling. But in the secondary schools, They have.
Okay.
But it is not as effective as you have it there, because people are not really okay going to teachers to go and talk about this problem.
Yeah.
And whenever you go with problems like this, that you are not performing well in school, it's not attributed to your home, or let me say you are from a single, you are being raised by a single parents, you are not having much to do at home, the structures at home are not good. No, the only focus is that you are not learning hard. So some of these issues do not go for counseling in the secondary school.
Yeah.
What usually go for counseling in the secondary school is maybe a teacher-student relationship, which goes bad, and abuse. Those are the issues that are sent back. Academically, it is very difficult. And so with that, it also endangers the students to in the choosing of their programs for the university, because they do not really know what they want to do.
Yeah.
So in choosing, my friend is doing law. Okay.
Let me do that
I think
too.
I should also do law, but you are not good in law.
Yeah.
So you go and do law, and it becomes a challenge.
Difficult. Yeah.
So that counseling session is not in our school system.
Okay.
You get shamed when you are not doing well. You get praised when you are doing well.
Okay.
And so nobody attributes it to the home you are coming from. They only attribute it to because you are not learning so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, luckily enough, it never happened to Sophie, and the school is very open and willing to hear me out and try and change. But I just think that for us to stay here in Ghana, a vital fact of that is that both my kids are happy and feel emotionally safe. So that's why we made a choice that we want to put them in a little bit of a higher form of international school. But those are really expensive.
Yeah.
So that is what we're struggling with now. Like, which type of school? We've been to several schools and trying to know the system. So first, you have to look at what type of school your kids want to go to, because I basically think that when you come from abroad and when your kids have gone to school in abroad, you shouldn't place them in the Ghanaian school system. I don't think it's for every kid to handle that.
Yeah,
depending on your child,
the transition
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So maybe you find a really international school here.
Yeah.
Where maybe you can start the processes there, and then maybe you migrate from there. If you want to switch direct from there to here, it will become very difficult for the child to adapt.
Yeah.
Because the systems look so much different,
Yeah.
even though they all have the name international.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
all practice
Yeah.
international.
Yeah. So the first tip I have from everybody coming from abroad: look at your child. Look at the way your child develops and the background. If your child has not gone to school, I think it can adjust to the Ghanaian school system if you want that for your child. If you want for your child to develop emotionally, socially, and academically all in the same thing, you are looking for a more higher international education system, which follow either IB system, American system, or the British curriculum. Because we just saw the school and we noticed that it's the British curriculum, but we saw an international crowd, but we didn't really look at the teachers. So from our experience, I think that you also have to look at the teachers who are teaching in the school.
Exactly.
Ask for their credentials, ask where they are trained, what type of training they will get. So you know if it's a real international school or if the school just calls itself international because they teach one foreign language or more. So we have a few schools where we would like to place the kids, but the fees start from $5,000 up to $25,000.
That's huge.
Each year. We're not talking Ghana Cedis people. $5,000 up to $25,000 each year.
Very expensive.
And the 25,000 is like a real Ivy League school where only I think the most rich people of Ghana place their kids.
Exactly.
But most expat people's kids go to the school because when you're an expat here, your company pays for your kids' school.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have some subventions for people who work in their company to pay.
Yes, exactly.
Some certain
Yeah.
schools. That's quite expensive.
Very.
I'm not sure, just a few. Those who are who are well-to-do can afford those $25,000. Is no joke.
It's crazy, and that's each year. Like your child goes from age 3 up to age 18.
Oh, that's so much.
Yeah. Which makes it, for a lot of people, very difficult to come here in Ghana.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind. If you're not coming here with an expat job, if you're not coming here with a bunch of savings, school for your children is very, very expensive. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And with that, even the local folks here cannot attend the international schools.
Yeah.
They would rather go to the pirated international, the schools that have international attached to them, even though they are not international in nature. So I think even with the international school, there is some form of division.
Yeah.
We have the international really at the top.
Yeah.
The semi-international that looks like the international.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, which is not international but has the international name.
So there's not, the government of Ghana does not put requirements on the schools, because it seems to me that anyone here can open a school and call it we are international. Is that true, or?
There are regulations.
Okay.
There are regulations that regulates the schools as to their formation and the kind of teaching and learning that they have. I think even one of the regulations for Ghanaian school is to have a PTA board. That's a parent-teacher association community or parent-teacher association board. That is one requirement. So if you're a student and you do not have a parent-teacher association, government cannot give you that go ahead to form a school. But some of these things have been overlooked.
Yeah, so, because our school didn't have one. So they just started one this year.
So it's not a regulation it's not the absence of regulation, it's the enforcement of the regulation.
Yeah, so I understand.
People tend to do whatever they want. So maybe government will look at the regulations itself, what qualifies one to open a school, what qualifies one to be referred to as international school. Even the name international, the word international is being abused here. You see churches, they go so and so
international church.
And then they are just attended by local folks. They have no international relations or international branches elsewhere. They just have the names attached.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And let me just say that this is just a conversation. We are no experts, though you know a lot about the Ghanaian school system. So please, if you're planning to come to Ghana, don't go off of our information. Know that our information is based on what we know. We are no experts, and it might be different. But this is our experience, and this is what we want to share with you. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.